I'm Leon Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip. Today, we're going to talk about processing the tail of your reverb on the FM3 and Axe-FX3. I want to give you a few kind of little secret sauce combinations which I think sound fantastic and which can really add some great character to your overall tone and your reverb. So to get started, I have this Equilibrium Guitars Massai 6 on the tapped middle position mode running into the Band Commander set totally stock. I'm using the JFET compressor, good old LT-TV Mix 7, which you can grab for free from Axchange, and I have the large plate reverb with a little under 3 seconds of reverb, the pre-delay cranked up, and the mix at 30%. At the moment, this is already a pretty sweet clean with a big reverb on it. I absolutely adore the plate reverbs in here, but let's say we wanted to do something like put a chorus on the reverb trails. If you just simply move the reverb over and then put a chorus after it, for example, let's go with maybe the Dimension 2 chorus over here, which is one of my favorites at the stock settings. This is going to sound fantastic, but you are going to be applying chorus to your overall tone as well as the reverb trails as well. I think this sounds awesome putting it after reverb, and it's great to play around with modulation after reverb in series like this, but we're going to build on this a little bit in a second. So I have a beautiful sounding chorus on my clean tone, and since the chorus is after the reverb, it's also making the reverb tail sound super wide as well, which I like. That kind of gives me a little bit of a Queensryche vibe right there. Shout out to all the Queensryche fans in the comments. I know you're there. Let's do this though. Let's take the reverb and the chorus and we'll drag them down into a parallel chain like that. I'll also run a parallel set of shunts here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the reverb and turn the mix to 100%. You can see the bypass mode is already set to mute effects in. And let's bring the input gain control down to about 50% on this so the reverb isn't super overpowering. I'm going to turn the chorus to bypass. At the moment, what I've got is just kind of the reverb I had before. It's just running in parallel. Still got that lovely large plate with a big pre-delay on there, but running it in parallel like this and applying the chorus after the reverb means that my dry signal isn't going to be processed by the chorus at all. Only the reverb trails are going to have chorus on them. This is what it sounds like. That on its own is a beautiful modulated reverb. You could, of course, try a different reverb type. Let's try the stereo tri-chorus. I'm going to crank the depths up over here. And this is going to be a much more pronounced wobbly reverb the way we set it up. I'll crank the rate up as well. That's pretty interesting, and that is starting to remind me of like 80s modulated rack reverb. So that's just starting with a chorus. You can take this to an extreme and use something like a rotary block on here. Let's just hear a rotary reverb. love the way that sounds as well. You can hear, though, that my dry tone doesn't have a big wobbly rotary speaker sound on it. It is my dry sound. It's only that ambient wash after I stop playing that you really hear. I think my absolute favorite combination though is to use a tremolo on here. So let's go to the trem/panner, and I'm going to select the bias trem over here. I'll just bring the rate down a little bit to around 3-ish hertz. You can play around with the waveform and the depth and things like that, but this reverb with amplitude modulation on the trails is a pretty glorious thing. In fact, I'm going to turn the input gain on the reverb up so that it is really, really big, and I'll just kind of bring the rate down below 2 hertz. I'm going to bring the depth down as well because I don't want it to totally cut off the reverb trails on there. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful right there. Of course, if you went for one of the big cloud type reverbs, like let's try the cirrocumulus just at stock settings, this has a gigantic amount of decay. You can see the reverb time is 24 seconds on there. So you can play some ambient noodles over this, as I like to call it, and leave this trem on to just subtly kind of give it a bit of a pulse and give it some extra rhythmic energy. And then, as you heard with the rate cranked up with that really, really long decay, it's another animal altogether. So playing around with any type of modulation effect on the reverb trail can yield some really, really inspiring results. You could even play around with things like gates, compressors, or I like the tape distortion on the end there to kind of saturate the reverb. But I'll leave you with one more example just to give you some more food for thought. This is a reverse delay with 50 milliseconds of delay time, so it's quite a short delay on there. Mix at 100%, a little bit of feedback, and I've pumped up the level a little bit, but this is going to kind of give me this really cool, glitchy, I won't say granular because it doesn't really sound like a granular delay or reverb, but it's more like a kind of glitchy delay reverb like you might hear in a kind of modern boutique pedal. I'll play you all out with this example. If you have any other questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. Hope you all have a great week, and I will see you next Tuesday.